So if you talk to any Sixers fan this offseason, they would say that the main objective is to trade away Ben Simmons because that city hates him and get a shot creator in return, right? That was the issue. They need a shot creator, someone who can average more than 14 points per game. And we got farther along with the summer, and we realized this was not happening. The Sixers are not getting a shot creator. Ben Simmons is staying there. The whole thing happened with the camp. He got fined. He declined to see the physician about his mental health that's declining and stuff like that. So, yeah, we were left in that situation, and we were like, how are the Sixers going to be without Ben Simmons, without their shot creator? They might have their shot creator. They may have answered that problem because they have Tyrese Maxey, who has been on a tear with Joel Embiid out. And he was pretty good with Joel Embiid in, but he's able to shine a little more with him out. Now, I'm not saying he's the answer to all their problems or he's their shot creator for the future. I'm just saying he's pretty good. But I'm going to get into the Ben Simmons situation, how the Sixers have been without Ben Simmons and even with Joel Embiid out and Tobias Harris out with health and safety protocols and some of that stuff and just the overall Sixers team. So before I get into that, if you're new to this channel, like and subscribe because it helps me out. I appreciate it. And you'll get more content like the video you're about to see. Now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the video. So what I want to start with is you may be looking at the standings and you're like, oh, the Sixers are 8-5. Why are you talking about them? They haven't been that impressive. Okay. They were 8-2 with Joel Embiid in the lineup. In the last 3 games, he has not been in due to COVID. Tobias Harris was out for a bit with COVID. And at one point, they were the best team in the East. They were 8-2. They were playing really well. And every single game since Joel Embiid has been out has been pretty close. They played the Bucks, the Knicks, and the Raptors was the last one that happened with the Fred VanVleet celebration that got him fined. Yeah, those games were all pretty close without Embiid, and they looked pretty impressive. So I'm pretty much talking about their 8-2 start. Going to talk a little bit about and hit a little bit on what they've been like without Embiid in the lineup. But the Sixers have impressed me thus far. They've been pretty good without Simmons, and Tyrese Maxey has taken a huge leap. I didn't expect him to take this leap this early. I knew he was going to be good. He was one of my favorite prospects coming into the draft. The main thing with him last year, he just rotationally didn't get that many minutes. And this year, he was a starting point guard because Simmons is out. And him and Shake Milton have kind of shared the distributing duties and the point guard duties. And Maxey can shoot the 3 a lot better than Shake Milton can. Milton's at like 28% this year. Maxey's at 38%. Last year with Maxey, he shot like 30%, and this year he's shooting 38%. So with Maxey, you're getting what you wanted from Simmons or in return for Simmons. Offensively, not defensively. Maxey's taking steps defensively, but he's nowhere near the level of Simmons, and people underrate him in that department. Whole separate thing. But yeah, like Tyrese Maxey is averaging 18 points per game on 38% from 3, and he's able to space the floor. And I don't know if I can necessarily call him like a shot creator because he really only gets to the rim and shoots catch and shoot. He's like, I wrote this down, 5% of his shots come from the mid-range, so he's really only getting to the rim or shooting from 3. Insanely athletic and quick. He's able to get to the rim with ease, and I don't know how people aren't able to stop it. But in the last 3 games, he's had like 30, 33, some ridiculous numbers. I don't even know. But even with Embiid in, he's been able to get to the rim flawlessly. He's a pretty solid passer, not near the level of Ben Simmons, but he's not bad in that department by any means. So Maxey's been really good. He's been able to space the floor, and it's really opened up the entire Sixers offense, and it just looks a lot different than when Ben Simmons was in there, and it's just flowing a lot more. And yeah, Maxey can space the floor, which Simmons couldn't. He's decent defensively. He's not bad. And he's able to get to the rim, and he's able to create his own shot. So I think the next step for him is going to be his pull-up game. If he's able to knock down some pull-ups, that's going to be big for him. But yeah, Maxey at the point, I like a whole lot. And Milton has shared the duties a little bit. He's been pretty solid. I like Milton a decent amount, but I don't know how much you can trust him. I definitely trust Maxey a lot more. But they're able to flow a lot better in the offense without Simmons, and they don't get weird rotational minutes like they did last year and having Simmons play a lot, take up a lot of the offense, and they were catering to Simmons' offense. So the point guard spot is in a much better position. Is Maxey better than Simmons? No chance. He's not better than Simmons. Does he fit better than Simmons on this team? 100%. Literally 100% he fits better than Simmons on this team. And we've seen that at the beginning of the year. If you watch the game, you just see the offense flowing way better. I also want to touch on this. So the thing is happening with Simmons where the Sixers are trying to get him to play, and he's saying that them trying to force him to play is declining his mental health and all of that. And we've seen the clips of him at practice just being in sweats with his phone in his pocket, not really caring. Bad on his part, but you can't really ignore the mental health issue. Like, you can think of it as like, oh, Simmons is just trying to get his way out or something. But the thing is, if you're ignoring this mental health issue and it seems to actually be a thing, and they, like, I don't know, do tests on him or something, and they're like, yeah, Simmons actually has a mental health issue and what you guys were doing just sucked, that's not going to look good on the team at all. So you have to treat the situation properly, and you can't really mess with mental health issues like that. So I want this whole thing to be over. I want Simmons off the team, and that's going to be one less issue for the Sixers to worry about, first off. And second of all, I want to see how Simmons does on another team if he's really the guy he says he is. So yeah, I want Simmons off the team. You can't ignore that mental health issue, stuff like that. So some other people that have been stepping up, the most notable one is probably Seth Curry. He's been able to create off the dribble pretty well. He does a lot of things where he's not initiating the offense in the point guard spot, but he'll get the ball on the wing, and Embiid will set a pick for him, and then he can get to the rim. He can actually get to the rim better than previous years. He's able to hit some pull-ups. His threes are just absolutely ridiculous. 47, 48% a night. I'm pretty sure that's the highest clip in the league, and if not, it will be, because he's consistently around that 45% mark, which is just ridiculous. So Seth Curry's been really good. He's been able to thrive in this offense. And then you've got Korkmaz, who has been pretty solid. He's a shooter around the team that can help when Embiid's doubled and Embiid kicks out. Georges Niang, a guy who I was really low on to start the season, who I was talking about, the Jazz are going to be so much better because they got rid of Georges Niang and they have Rudy Gay replacing him. Rudy Gay is not even playing right now, and Georges Niang went from like 5 to 12 points a game. He's been pretty good. Sixers fans seem to love him. He can come in and play smart defense. He's not athletic at all. I saw him try and go up for a dunk, and he could barely get up there. I don't know how tall dude is, but he's 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", I don't even know. And he cannot get up there. Pretty unathletic, but he's been able to shoot pretty well. I think like 40% clip on the season. And he's been pretty solid defensively. So I think they call him the minivan. Weird nickname. All right, cool. He's been playing pretty well. Embiid, the big guy in this offense, the one that runs the offense. He has been playing in a different sort of role this season. Some things I've noticed from him, he's bringing the ball up a whole lot more than he used to. He's kind of being a point center at times. And you know what? Honestly, I feel kind of comfortable with him bringing the ball up. I think that opens up a new level of your offense, because then you're 5 out, you've got some shooters, and that gives you a lot of options. And he's doing more point guard stuff. And first of all, that's fun for the game to watch. I love seeing him do that, because that's a 7-footer that's handling the rock, pulling up for 3, doing some mid-range, mid-post stuff, and doing some passing stuff. His assist numbers are up this season, so that's what I kind of predicted. I was like, okay, Simmons is not on the team. Embiid's not a bad passer. So when he gets doubled in the post, he's going to be able to kick it out, or he's going to do some point center stuff and do a little bit of passing stuff. That's been working. He's averaging, I think, like 4 assists per game. That's not much, but it was like 2 last year, so that's better. Embiid is actually averaging like 7 less points per game this year. So that's something, but I think that's honestly okay for the team with how they've been playing. And people are just able to step up more, and Embiid doesn't seem too frustrated with it. He's averaging like 21 points per game, and it was like 28 last year, and he was an MVP candidate. This year, he's been more aggressive defensively, and he seemed healthier. No pun intended, because he got COVID, and I'm talking about like his injuries and stuff. So yeah, he seemed healthier on the injury aspect besides for the COVID thing. And he's just been a little more dominant defensively, which I like to see from him with the loss of Simmons defensively. So Embiid's been pretty good. I wish he would do a little more in the low post rather than the high post. He's really skilled and can do a lot of that stuff, but I feel like if he would work inside first and then move outside and do some of that mid-post turnaround face-up stuff, that'd be cool, and that would help him out a lot, and he could score even more. But yeah, Embiid's defensive intensity is up. He's running faster down the floor. He just seems a little more athletic, like he can get off his feet a little more when there's been worries about his injuries. I don't expect him to play the entire season, but at least to start the season, this is cool. And we've seen that he can even play on one leg like he did last year playing with the torn meniscus. So that's cool. Embiid's been pretty cool. You got Andre Drummond on the bench, who he was on my team, the Cavs, and I absolutely hated him. He was on the Lakers, and that was abysmal to watch. He should not have gotten started. He should not have gotten starting center minutes, but, you know, he did. That was something. So, yeah, I didn't really like the idea of Drummond, but I really like him in this role because he's able to come in, do the dirty work for this team, and not really get too ahead of himself. He's definitely gotten a little ahead of himself this year. Like, there was this one play, I think it was against the Nets. Someone passed him in the low post. He literally jumped up and threw it behind his back. I'll insert the highlight clip right here. It's going to cover the whole screen. I don't know why I'm pointing. And Andre Drummond, yeah, he's just been able to get some rebounds for you. He's been like an empty stats guy in the past. But he's been pretty good. He's been able to fill in for Embiid decently well. He had a 25 rebound game. And he really just baffles me with how he plays. He's just a weird player. Like, overall, it's really hard to analyze him defensively, offensively, everything. But he's been pretty solid in his role, and I like Drummond. The one issue with this team is their defense. They're the 28th ranked defense in the league. They're not able to defend the three-point line whatsoever. They've given up a lot of big games to other teams. And, yeah, defensively without Simmons, they're definitely a lot worse, and that was an issue. So this team, they've been pretty interesting to watch so far. I like the idea of just not having Simmons there, the floor being opened up. A lot of stuff with Embiid kicking out and a lot of shooters surrounded by Embiid, because when you have a dominant threat in the post like that and you have shooters like Korkmaz, Niang, Seth Curry, Danny Green, that's cool. That's going to help. That's going to be a good offense. Individually, they have some good defenders. They have Embiid, who's a good defender, Danny Green, who's a good defender. You've got Matisse Thybulle, Paul Reed. Those are all solid defenders, but overall, team defensively wise, their rotations haven't been the best. Their closeouts haven't been the best. Intensity's not always there. It's there from individual players, but not overall. So I want to see that be better. And yeah, defense is just not the best. Last thing I want to hit on is the Sixers have been really, really good so far. Besides for the last 3 games, I don't want to hear about it because I was initially going to make this video when they were doing really well, and then I just forgot to, and I'm making it now. So whatever. Yeah. So they've been really good thus far, and if they get any sort of good player in a trade for Simmons, I don't want them including Maxey in a trade. They better not include Maxey for a trade because of everything I hit on earlier. If they get a shot creator or someone really good like D'Angelo Russell in a trade, this team is really good, and I don't want people to sleep on them. Like, they're going to be a threat. They're going to be pretty good, especially with the emergence of Maxey and how well they've been playing as a unit. Let's say hypothetically you get D'Angelo Russell. I honestly don't know if you start him. You could have him on the bench. Feel free to argue with me in the comments, but could be a good spark plug off the bench. But if you get someone like that, this team's going to have a lot more depth than another option, and it's going to be really cool. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Where do I think the Sixers are going to finish this season? I don't really know. You don't really know. I guess we'll see. It's all up to chance. It's all up to injuries. It's all up to speculation, how people finish, how people do better, all that stuff. So I don't know where the Sixers are going to finish this year, but I've been really impressed by them so far. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. That's it for now. I'm out.